Alright guys, let's do this. It's going to be game number 2 of Root versus Millennium, and it's going to be on Akalon Wastes. Let's get right into this guy. Spawning in the bottom right position, coming in for Millennium. Took game number 1. Can you take game number 2? Take things a little bit farther. It is Dayshi. And spawning in the top left position as our blue Protoss player coming in for Root Gaming, it is Minigun. You guys aren't familiar with Minigun, of course. How could you not be familiar with a Root player? Minigun, of course, known for his wide variety of nicknames. Popular streamer. Very, very good Protoss player in the North American scene. So, kind of excited to see this. Dayshi, our European player, coming in for Millennium. This should be good to see whether or not he can continue his streak. We're going to have a supply depot built behind the mineral line. So, that's becoming increasingly common as Protoss players go for a lot of forward aggression, bringing up stalkers of Mothership Core, sort of poke away at supply depots on the low ground. But, yeah, this should be a good one, guys. I'm really looking forward to doing more and more of these games. Of course, you don't know who I am. I'm Nathanius. And, yeah. So, hopefully everything was working alright. You can let me know in the chat just how well everything is running. So, yeah. Minigun's going to go out and scout now after starting that gateway. Wants to make sure there's nothing any proxy. He's checking a lot of, not actually, just a couple of proxy areas. And we have the barracks coming up for Dayshi. Looks like with this SCV rally, he will be going to build a gas at 15 supply. So this is one of those halfway economic tech builds. But Minigun continuously checking around, remaining diligent, trying to see if there are any proxies located around his base. Doesn't find any. At this point, he's going to head back home. And, well, first Marine production on the way for Dayshi, so he's likely going to go for a couple Marines, then a reactor quickly. Then we could see him expand and get a factory, so it's all going to come down to what exactly Dayshi wants to make happen with this build. Of course, we've seen some players go for some really crazy things. You can always add on additional racks if you want. Go for a fast stim timing. You can go for Cloak Banshee off of 2 bases, but Minigun's going to take a second gas geyser. He doesn't have a probe on the field for a proxy, though, so it's going to be very unlikely that he goes for any kind of a tricky play. Since Dayshi's SCV is here, we'll be able to scout that there is no expansion for Minigun. He's going to walk up. He actually sees now third pylon going up, so it's going to be very unlikely that he's going to get hit with any kind of proxy. He sees one other pylon, so now he knows there are 3 pylons, so he feels pretty comfortable, but there isn't a proxy super early on. And, well, Minigun getting a Zealot out, so it does look like he wants to expand. Possibly put on a bit of forward pressure, but keeping the Zealot at home means he's more concerned with making sure he gets his Nexus up. Now, Dayshi, he's got his Marines coming out. He's building that command on the low ground, a little bit risky, but with the reactor about to finish, he'll have a good couple of Marines to help deal with any potential aggression. So, and the Marine on the other side is actually spotting. So, the SCB will be forced out by the Zealot, but Minigun, he is looking like he's going to throw this Nexus down. So, there it is, and he does not have any qualms whatsoever about going for this fast expansion. Now, Dayshi getting his Marines out. He's got that factory going now as well. So basically what it looks like he wants to do, he's actually got about 50 more gas. So it looks like he's going for slightly delayed, but he could go into Widowmine, Medevac, possibly do a little bit of a drop. So there's a lot of options. Pretty flexible opening the 1-1-1, even out of an expansion for a Terran player. So a lot to see. Mothership Core is going to be coming forward to do a little bit of scouting for Minigun. So this should be able to let him know what exactly is going on. There's not too much, nothing really crazy out of the ordinary. He will know at the very least he's not getting cheesed, or that there isn't some really well-hid proxy. So, Mothership Core rolling on up to Dayshi's base now. Chad Jones about to scout. He sees the starport just starting and the factory, so he knows, okay, the factory probably just completed. He's probably building maybe a Widowmine or a Hellion. Marines are going to try to come out here and catch. This Mothership Core, though, does quite a bit of paint damage. But it will be able to get away with 60 hit points, so good play there from Minigun. Now, the transition for Dayshi, oftentimes you see Terran players line this up. Yep, he's going to get this gas, and we'll probably see a Medevac come out of this starport, and then 2 additional barracks, so he can move straight into bioplay and build the tech labs right off of these buildings. Very, very standard way of opening. We see it kind of pioneered by MMA and Lucifron quite a bit, so wouldn't expect anything else. And, well, Minigun, he's got his Nexus up. He's adding on the 2 additional gateways. He's getting the robotics facility done now. So, interesting thing to note, robotics facility before the gateways can be seen as a little bit greedy versus early barracks pressure, but He felt pretty comfortable, of course, with his scout on that mothership core, and getting there over facility faster can help deal with mines. So Dayshi does have his infrastructure set up now. He's kept one mine back at home to defend against possible Oracle play, but kind of recognizing he might have an opportunity to do some forward pressure here. This medevac is about to come out, and we could see Dayshi try to go on the offensive. So mine's actually just going to go to the other mineral line, which is kind of interesting. He wants to use them defensively. He's going to get an engineering bay now. He's still a little bit worried about the possibility of being hit with an Oracle, but no, he's actually going to bring his other mine back up now too. So what he wants to do is take a couple of these Marines, a couple of the mines, go to the side, but take about 10, 12 of these Marines and go for some forward pressure towards Minigun's natural. And to be fair, Minigun doesn't really have anything set up here. He's playing this pretty greedily in terms of his unit production. He's actually going to go into double forge now. So, I mean, he has the observer. He can spot widow mines. He can spot anything like that. But he only has these 3 stalkers in his main base. Now, these can deal with this pretty well, but if this can pull him out of position, it's going to do a lot of damage. The observer should be able to spot this medevac coming in now. Dayshi inside of Minigun's main base with the drop, trying to bring these mines a bit closer to the mineral line. He's running the Marines up as well. They're actually soaking up a lot of damage. So the mines are going to begin to burrow. There are 3 of them here. At the same time, the Marines run into the natural expansion. A lot of he's going to probably kill off 2 of these stalkers. At the same time, these mines do get in here, but they don't manage to accrue any real number of kills. Mothership Core with the photon overcharge will be able to shove these Marines off. Tries to run into the main base, but there is a force field, so good defense by Minigun. He's not going to take any real damage. He needs to make sure he brings the cleanup crew over to these mines. He will lose another probe, so at the very least, Dayshi getting something for his money here. But here's that standard transition. He's acquired these 2 tech labs off of the starport and factory. Now getting his 10-man combat shield. He's actually going to go for a pretty quick 4th and 5th bear. So he's not going to go for any kind of economic play. At the very least, he's not going for a faster 3rd base. So typically speaking, you would get a 3rd before this point, largely just to be a bit more economical. Barracks timings can be weakened by the really, really late stim pack, so going 5 racks, he's going to have a good number of units. By the time he has stim, Minigun could be looking to get a 3rd base. Now keep in mind, one of these Widow Mines for Dayshi's actually managed to keep itself implanted inside of Minigun's base. Now there is an observer, but there aren't any actual units, so he might be able to get up in there and try to throw one of those explosive payloads into the probe line. But for now, Colossus coming out for Minigun. He's got a couple of stalkers to spot any move outs by Dayshi. The observer at the front should be able to spot this medevac loading and leaving. So Minigun is actually going to move a couple of these stalkers. We want to see if he can catch this medevac, possibly going up the left side of the map. Would be really big. It's coming in now. Does Dayshi see this? Is he going to respond in time? The medevacs, oh my goodness, the stalkers pull back at the last second, kind of recognize that the medevac could boost away, so he wants to go home and defend instead. He kind of recognizes that if he goes for that medevac and Dayshi boosts away, he won't have any units at home, but 1-1 going to complete soon for Minigun. That Widow Mine does get in there. It doesn't look like it got too much of anything in that main base, but cleaned up quite well by Minigun, and now the drop heading into the natural, and at the same time, Photon Overcharge activated. There are stalkers here. Minigun going to completely shut this down. This medevac barely gets away, and I don't even think it can hide there. No, he's going to just drop everything out. Should lose this medevac. Dayshi's stim not yet complete either, so you can't really do anything crazy with this. He's going to lose the drop. He's going to maybe try to pick off a probe or 2, but Time Warp going to slow this bio down. He's not going to be able to get away, and, well, everything in Dayshi's drop is going to die. So Minigun, good clean up there. But he does scout the Colossus. He sees, okay, we have Colossi range coming in. You've got another Colossus being produced, so Dayshi knows what's up. He's added on a 2nd starport. He's going for a lot of Viking production to help deal with this. But he needs to make sure his economy is in check for it, too. He doesn't have a 2nd engineering bay. He doesn't have an armory yet. So right now, Dayshi's really limited in terms of his upgrades. But another drop hitting the main base from Dayshi. He's going to take out one pylon. He wants to go for the Twilight Council, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to maybe just barely get it. He does kill it, but he's going to lose a lot of his army. The medevac's being targeted down. He does pick up a tiny chunk of his units and get off in that medevac, but he lost a lot to kill a Twilight Council. And 2-2 already started, so he actually hasn't really delayed much of anything, unfortunately for him. But now, cut a couple idle ICVs, but Dayshi trying to find another place to drop in again, but at this point he's just macroing up at home. He's just getting everything together. The 2-2 is almost going to be halfway done for Minigun soon. This is only going to compound a lead for him, since he hasn't been able to hold off the aggression. Now Dayshi, though, macroing up pretty well. He does have a rather decent amount of supply, so he's going to look to push out now. And what he wants to do, he's killed the Twilight Council, so if he's delayed anything, it's a Templar Archives that has not yet been built. So What it looks like he wants to do, come up here with this Bioforce, try to pick off the Colossi. He's pulling a couple of SCVs as well to tank damage. He wants to just use the Vikings, overwhelm the Colossi, and then just kill everything else with the stemmed Bio. But Photon Overcharge could make that a bit difficult. He's going to come in from the side, though, and if he catches this army out of position, he might be able to do a lot of damage. But the Mothership Core should still be able to reach the Nexus to give it Photon Overcharge. So we'll have to see. It's a bit of a precarious situation. Observer now does finally see the army of Dayshi. So scan goes down, though. Minigun will not be able to see this anymore. But how much damage is he going to be able to do with this? It's going to be very difficult. The longer he waits, the harder it will be. So his army is actually split up pretty badly. He needs to move the rest of his army into the natural expansion if he wants to catch this. The Viking trying to poke away as much as it can. And now Dayshi, he's going to move in. He's going to try to get the pincer surround on this force, stemming up everything. Force Field's trying to eliminate one half of this army from the equation, but the Colossi are going to tumble, and Dayshi getting a 6 surround on Minigun's units is going to completely obliterate this army, and there's the G